Welcome to Unity Comox Valley. Are you noticing the signs of spring? I have particular spots that I watch for at this time of year, where I know I can see those first few signs of spring. One of our neighbors has a huge crocus bed around a great big tree in her front yard, and I can see that they are already coming up, and even some have some color on them. Then there's these little yellow flowers. I have no idea what they are. They're not crocuses, but they line the pathway where Joseph and I take our walk every day. So that was a real surprise because we only started walking there after spring last year. Every season has its own beauty, doesn't it? And how wonderful that we get to experience them all here in the Comox Valley on Vancouver Island. You know, when I was 20, I enrolled in a college. It was a college run by the Quakers, and the program was that we students went and lived for a year around in different cultures around the world. And it was kind of like an apprenticeship program. You know, we got involved with the community that we lived with. We contributed in some way, and as we were learning at the same time. And so my first year I spent in Kenya and Tanzania. I think many of you have heard some of my stories from that time. And then I wanted to go to India next. It had been a lifelong dream of mine to go to India. It's only a very short flight from Kenya to India, but I was longing for the change of seasons. And I knew, I knew I wouldn't get that in India. So there was a center in Canada from this college, and it happened to be in Campbell River. And so I came up to British Columbia, to Vancouver Island in 1973 to spend a year here and then go to India. And well, the rest is history. I fell in love with British Columbia, I fell in love with Canada, and I dropped out of school and stayed here on the coast ever since then. And many of you do know I did get to go to India 4 more times just in the last 15 or 20 years. So I do hope that you take time to get outside every day or to look out a window, not just quickly, but leisurely, so that you notice and can appreciate all the little changes that are happening every single day. We live on an amazing planet. We not only live on it, we are part of it. The same divine life that is supporting all life everywhere that we see is also the same divine life that sustains us. In spirit, there is no separation. We are one with all that is. So let's bring that into our opening prayer. So I invite you to do what you do for yourself, to center yourself, to bring you to that place of stillness. Perhaps a deep breath or closing your eyes. And we come gently to that realization that of the one that not only lives in us, but is us. The one presence, the one power, the one activity, the one life. We can feel that in our body with every breath, with every heartbeat, with every movement. That is divine life expressing. And so we take time to mindfully look at our surroundings, our environment. In this case, the mountains, the rivers, the estuary, the sea, the clouds. We are one with all life. We are interdependent. So as we breathe into that knowing, we remember who we are and the impact of our actions. that there is no hurting other without hurting ourselves. And so as we go into our week and into our world, we keep our eyes open, not only our physical eyes, but our spiritual eyes open, so that we can see the beauty and the joy and the power and the life on this whole planet. And we can give thanks that we live, that we're alive right now, that we have a role, we have a part to play. And so we remember always that we are contributing to the good, towards the benefit of all. And we do this purposefully and diligently and lovingly. And so it is. Amen. Would you join me in our vision statement? Unity Comox Valley is a loving, caring community coming together for spiritual growth and renewal. We actively and consciously serve others by radiating God's love and joy in our daily lives. So thank you for radiating that love and joy. And thank you for the ways that you consciously serve others. Today is the 4th Sunday of Lent. Next Sunday, Pat is giving the talk. And the following Sunday, March 28th, is Palm Sunday. And so to end this series, Pat and I are both creating the Palm Sunday service, and we are both taking different roles in there. And Joseph is going to masterfully stitch it all together because, as you know, Pat is in Saskatoon. So that'll be a very joyful experience on March 28th. And then the following Sunday, the next Sunday, is Easter Sunday. And we will be joining together for Sunday celebration with the entire Vancouver Island. So lots to look forward to. All right, before the talk, we're just going to sing a song, Get Out of the Way.
Running around fixing this and that, giving it up to God and then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more. Get out of the way, 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 get out the way, and let God do its thing. You look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to. So get out of the way, 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 get out the way, let God do His thing. Woo! The sun's gonna shine and the river's gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flowing. You don't plant a seed, then dig it up and see if it's growing. Get out of the way, get out of the way, hey, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out the way, let God do His thing.
Today, as I mentioned before, is the 4th Sunday of Lent, the season of letting go. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that it is a 2-step process, like stepping stones. When we release, we leave one, and when we renew, we step onto another. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, called this fasting and feasting. So what do we want to release, and what can we put into its place? That is the work or the play that we do during Lent. Each week, Pat and I have been taking a pair of these release renew statements from the Lent booklet. And today I'm going to be exploring another pair. The release statement is this: I release any feelings of hostility. So let me share a bit of what it says in the Lenten booklet. Hostility arises when we find ourselves in disagreement with a person or situation. This disagreement can cause hostile thoughts and feelings. We may not express these thoughts and feelings out loud, or we might express ourselves verbally and passionately. Either way, our entire being is impacted by the effects of a hostile mindset. Well, hostility is a pretty strong word, isn't it? But let's keep going and see what we can learn. Hostility arises when we perceive a threat. It could be physically, although honestly that's quite rare these days. But what about a threat to our lifestyle, or our happiness, or our point of view, or a threat to something we value, like a relationship, or old growth forests, or clean water? There are real threats, and then there are perceived threats. Last summer, I think it was, I saw some big machines digging up a park that's nearby, a park I really love, and I thought, oh, what are they doing? They're just making such a huge mess and noise and all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't happy about what I saw, and I used my wonderful power of imagination to just think what they might be up to. And then I found out that they were replacing a culvert with a specialized, newly designed culvert that allows salmon to continue swimming up the stream to their spawning grounds. So all that angst, all those thoughts, all that energy about something that was not even true or real. We have all seen many, many examples of hostility. If you watch the news, it's always there. But what can happen is that we get so involved in the story, is that we take on those feelings, and now it's part of us. We have ingested the disagreement, the conflict. Now, who is suffering? Hostility harms us, not the person or the situation with which we disagree. Our feelings towards someone does not harm the person we direct them to. It harms us. We are the ones who generated those feelings, who expanded them, who poured them out or stuffed them in, either way, and now we are experiencing the consequences. We can live in this reactive state. we can. Bouncing from, opinion to reaction. It kind of reminds me of those pinball machines. I don't know if they still have them, but a ball shoots out and creates a chain reaction and bounces back and forth and up and down, hitting all the pegs all the way throughout the game. We can live like that. One stimulus creates a reaction, and then we keep going from one reaction to another. It's exhausting. It wears us down. It impacts all aspects of our physiology, our breath, our heart, our digestion. The Lent booklet says this: when we become hostile, we often experience a knot in our stomach, and our blood pressure may rise. How often have we described a hostile person as being so angry he is red-faced, or her blood is boiling? Hostility harms us. And then the booklet goes on to say this: it's easy to speak harsh words when we disagree. It is just as easy to speak softly and gently. to speak words that bless and uplift people and situations. Well, let's talk about that, especially the last sentence. It is just as easy to speak softly and gently, to speak words that bless and uplift people and situations. Just as easy? Yeah, it can be. When my children were young, they attended an alternative school that was based on Vedic wisdom, and they practiced meditation every day. So I was the office manager at the school, and I was also the vice principal. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. And every day I was exposed to either unhappy parents or unhappy children, or sometimes both. The children learned 16 principles of Vedic wisdom, and one of them I used a lot in these situations. It's called Speak the Sweet Truth. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. If we were angry or frustrated or upset in any way, we were to ask ourselves these 5 questions before speaking. First one, is it true? Make sure what we are saying is correct and that we have the accurate information. Before we speak, ask ourselves, is it true? The next one, is it uplifting? I want to make sure that I am contributing something of value to the conversation. Third one, is it kind? Would I want to hear these words directed at me? And the last question, which often stops everything, is this: is it necessary? Why am I feeling like I need to say this? The practice of nonviolent communication has an acronym that I really love, and I've shared it before, and it's WAIT, W-A-I-T. And there's actually 2 phrases that go along with this, W-A-I-T. Why am I talking? Or what am I thinking? Can we take a moment and ask ourselves these questions? Can we take a moment and sense what is happening in here? Am I talking to someone to change their minds? Am I speaking because I want someone to agree with me? Is what I want to say necessary, or am I just wanting to prove a point? Am I calm? Am I prepared to listen? Am I able to be kind and uplifting? These are really good questions to ask ourselves before we speak or act. Following this release statement, I release any feelings of hostility, is a renew statement. The booklet says this: I renew my practice of non-resistance. The road to peace of mind and personal well-being is paved with the stones of non-resistance. I love that. I'm going to repeat it. The road to peace of mind and personal well-being is paved with the stones of non-resistance. And then it goes on to say, daily we face people and situations we find disagreeable. At such times, it is good to practice non-resistance. Non-resistance is a spiritual practice of holding our minds and hearts above disagreement. Every person, situation, or condition has at its core a divine spark. Non-resistance fans the divine spark into a flame of peace and well-being. In its highest form, non-resistance is lifting up our vision to see the beauty and truth in every person, situation, and condition. With everything that comes my way, I have a powerful choice. Fight what is and become mired in the mess, or release my resistance and use my energy to create solutions. The amount of time and attention is the same, but the results are incredibly different. Yes. From Matthew 5, there is a great statement that I use often. We are told to agree with our adversaries. When I first heard this, I thought, what? Agree with the people that I disagree with? Who are doing things that are not in alignment with my values? Well, I do enjoy the challenge of looking deeply into things and discovering the good that is there for us. So I didn't dismiss this statement, as we can do something that rubs us the wrong way or we don't like, we can just, not pay attention to it. But I try to pay attention to those things that grab my attention one way or another, whether I love them or really dislike them, and find out what they're all about. So first, the word adversary, or in some translations of the Bible, it's enemy. I realize that as long as I see someone and name someone as the enemy, I am contributing to conflict. I've placed them outside of my circle of concern and care. In looking at them this way, I am creating separation, more separation. This is something I really do not want to contribute to. So I go to the next word, agree. Do you remember what I just read? Every person, situation, or condition has at its core a divine spark. Maybe there is a place that we hold the same values. I can look for the common ground where we do agree, where there is agreement. And sometimes I have to look really hard and be willing to give up my stand that they're wrong. You can use this with a person in your life or with systems in our society, like politics or corporations or medicine, education, law enforcement. Anytime you think of someone or something that is wrong, you have placed yourself into an adversarial position. So find some place of agreement, some common ground, because it's always there. You don't have to talk to them. This is an inside job. Holding on to your stance, remember, is only hurting you. It's only hurting me. Finding that hostility within myself and releasing it, I can step onto the stone of non-resistance. And there's one more word in that statement. Agree with your adversary quickly. Every moment we hold on to our disagreement, to our fear, our anger, conflict, we are harming ourselves. So reconcile within yourself sooner than later. I release my feelings of hostility. I renew my practice of non-resistance. I would like to bring those statements into our time of prayer and contemplation. But first, a song. Let's take a moment to bring ourselves to that quiet inner place of perfect peace and harmony. As you breathe in, feel the energy of divine life entering your body temple. As you breathe out, give thanks for the ability to let go of what is no longer beneficial. We enter the sanctuary of silence within, devoting precious time toward unifying our mind, heart, and being with Source. I invite you now to bring to mind something or someone that you are at odds with. Bring this person or situation into the sanctuary of the silence. I choose to accept life's situations just as they appear. I breathe in the unlimited possibility for the way things might unfold, and then I go deeper. I release the impulse to deny or fight what is. I embrace the divine love at my core. Within that love, the path ahead is clearly lit. I walk along with confidence and purpose, sharing my light with all. I am an emissary of peace and harmony in the world. Vigilant with my thoughts, I transform any inner discord into peace. Words of inspiration, encouragement, and support flow from my peace-filled mind to bless others. Here's a few lines from one of Daniel Nahmad's songs. Let every breath I breathe be sacred. Let every word I speak be true. Let every song I sing be holy and bring me close to you. I recognize the Christ presence in every person. I praise, not criticize. I lend a helping hand where I can. I allow love and joy and compassion flow out through me to all whose lives touch mine. I see in all my affairs the wondrous pattern of divine order, working out piece by piece, making use of my ever-growing capacity for accomplishments, bringing my heart and soul to perfect fulfillment. And so it is. And now for the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. Please join us for fellowship time, 11:30 on Sundays. We're having a wonderful time sharing our thoughts and our perspectives and seeing different members of our spiritual community. It's really, really lovely. The Zoom link for that is in your newsletter. It's in there every week as a reminder to you, 11:30 on Sundays. I have a thought for the day, and it comes from Peace Pilgrim. Peace Pilgrim is a woman who walked over 50,000 miles all over North America with one message: peace. She didn't travel, she walked, as I said. She would not carry anything with her except her toothbrush and a little pad of paper and a little pencil to write down some notes. If someone offered her money, she would refuse it. She waited and ate when someone offered her food, and she slept when someone offered her a bed. And she said she spent many, many nights sleeping under the stars, in train stations, in gas stations. And her message for her whole lifetime was peace. Wonderful. I just love what she thought about and what she wrote about. And so from this book, there's a picture of her. A quote: "For those of you who are seeking the spiritual life, I recommend these 4 daily practices. Spend time alone each day in receptive silence. When afflicted with any negative emotion, take time to be alone with God. Visualize God's light each day and send it to someone who needs help. And lastly, exercise the body. It is the temple of the soul." So I invite you now to think back over the past week and bring to mind some time when you have given something to another. It could be a phone call, could have been a card, could be running an errand for someone. It could be a smile at the grocery store. These simple gifts make us feel good, don't they? There's a warm feeling in our hearts as we extend ourselves and connect with others. So holding on to that smile, that warmth, would you please join me in our affirmation? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Have a wonderful week. And now our closing song.
There is just one presence, there is just one light, shining in the world like a beacon in the night. There is just one power we all can share, one great power everywhere. One great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the skies up above. One great spirit waiting in prayer, one great power everywhere. There is one great power everywhere. There is just one purpose, there is just one spark, burning in our souls like a candle in the dark. There is just one chorus we all can sing, with one great power let it rain. One great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the skies up above. One great spirit waiting in prayer, one great power everywhere. There is one great power everywhere. One great power, 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 one great power everywhere. There is just one presence, there is just one light, shining in the world like a beacon in the night. There is just one power we all can share,